People are jumping in. I don't want to start too late, though. I do want to respect everybody's time, and it's 11:05. So why don't we get going as people trickle in? Um, I just kind of want to set the stage here. I think I met Arjun at Momentum Builder, even though we were actually both a part of financing the American Dream and American Dream TV. We hadn't physically met, even though we were both using a similar strategy to reach the most amount of people possible and go deeper with our real estate agents. And we just hit it off right off the bat. It was immediately like we had good magic. He's just such a great dude, and he seems like super transparent, like I am, nothing to hide. And it made for a really great relationship right away. And then I think it was the second year, then we had Neil as a speaker at Momentum Builder. And then most importantly is you were one of my like super soccer advocates during the World Cup. I got all this text messages and Instagrams from Arjun as we were watching the World Cup together, and Argentina was doing great. So that's kind of how we got to know each other. And Arjun, before we get into like the details of what you're doing to succeed today, because I know you've got an amazing social media presence, and that doesn't happen by mistake. And I know that you revamped your social media presence, so I want to talk a little bit about that, because I think that what you did is valuable, and I see the difference, the before and after. So I think we want to dig into that for a little bit. But tell us a little bit about what family life is growing up in your household. I mean, it seems like a household full of winners. It seems incredibly competitive. And I know that work ethic and discipline is what's required today to make it to the other side of this thing. So, but you always praise on your siblings, and I want to hear a little bit about what living in that house is like.
No, I appreciate it, Gino. And look, I want to thank Don and Gino and echo right back. I met both of them at what I still to this day consider to be one of the best communities that I feel lucky to be part of, which is the whole Momentum Builder community. Some of the best friends I have in the industry and closest colleagues have been through your guys' events. When I met you both a few years ago, and then again last year, and then we've stayed connected, and we have so many friends and colleagues within the industry in common. And so we're constantly crossing over, but you just find so many like-minded people, and the culture you guys have created, honestly, I'm not just saying this because I'm on the call with you. Like, these are some of the best close friends I've got in the industry now. And, I think really high, and I'm commanding respect for Don and Gino and what they've created. It's hard to do, but they're doing it from a place and a mindset of abundance to try and help everyone and elevate the entire real estate industry together. And I will always back and support people to the end that are doing that, because they're fighting a good fight. So thank you both for everything you guys do and for including me in this today. I'm pumped. Really excited, and looking forward to this. So in our household, okay. So what Gino's talking about, right? My brother, Neil, Shivani, my sister, and myself, and I'm the oldest. The thing is I actually, as the elder brother, I look up to both of them. So we're all very close, and you would think that we're very competitive with each other. There might be an undertone of competitiveness, but it's all very channeled in a way that first comes from a place of admiration of one another, because we're all each other's biggest fans. People are like, how have you guys not ended up in huge fights with one another? If you all work together, you're all creating content. We have slightly different audiences. There's some overlap, but my community, loves Neil and his community, vice versa. We're all friends, and same with Shivani, and it all kind of cross pollinates. But, the household and the upbringing was pretty much just all of us being raised well by our parents. So we got to give them all the credit, and, instilling a really good work ethic in us, and not really settling for anything, and always wanting to be better and do better. I don't know if you chalk that up to like maybe, with their immigrant mentality or work ethic, whatever it was, but we have them to thank for it. And so now we're trying to do the same with our kids and continue to do it ourselves as adults.
Yeah. So definitely what you're talking about there is passing down something I'm super familiar with. And so is Don. I mean, both of us were taught work ethic real young. We were both in the construction industry, and that's an interesting industry to be working in when you're like 13 to 18.
Right. We were both in it at 13.
Yeah. And I was until I think I was 21 or so. And before I touched one piece of white collar work, it was all blue collar work. And that's where you get the work ethic. Then if you apply the discipline, which is doing the things that you should do to win, that's where I think the marriage actually works, is when you have the work ethic and the discipline. And clearly you and your family have that. And like I said, I see it in everything that you do. So tell us a little bit about, you start wherever you want, actually. I want to give you some creative freedom here to just tell us about how 2023 is going, and what have you done to adapt?
And I just
to
want
the
to
new
add
market?
one more thing, Gino, because you hit the nail on the head. And Arjun, you hit, I love what you presented, because everyone that's been in Momentum Builder on our calls and part of our community are givers, and you hit the nail on the head. It's a giver mentality, and I really think a lot of your success for you, Neil and Shivani, all are givers, and you guys go from that mentality first. And how can not wonderful things happen from that mentality? And you've always been that way. And Neil's been a speaker at our event. He's a giver. I just wanted to start with that because you're really good at that. And I think that's why you're on the call, and that's why you're doing your event we'll talk about later. But I love that. I love more to understand that that's a great place to come from. If you're that way with your real estate agents, your partners, and your team, good things are going to happen, right?
Look, can I ask here too, for the audience that's part of this community, is this a mix of lenders and agents that are part of this, entrepreneurs, predominantly lenders? What would you say the mix is?
Predominantly lenders.
Predominantly. Okay. So all of us as lenders, because that's what I'm really talking to today. I'm glad, so we're going to get raw and real on this, because I think it's now time, if you don't already, to have a chip on your shoulder with how you're going to serve here and how you're going to be seen, and how you want the market to actually view you, and no longer be commoditized as someone that's just a rate sheet provider. And I really mean that, because we're a lot more valuable than that. And it's time to actually start speaking up for that. And that's the place I come from. Don, Gino, am I all right to share a slide or two?
Absolutely.
If I, okay.
This is your show. We're just here to facilitate you, buddy.
You kidding, man? You guys are part of the jokes. Don't forget your lines, okay? I told you guys.
Well, usually you're teasing each other. So like Gino walks around with a
I know.
big
That's why I love
me.
you guys. You guys are always keeping it lighthearted. Okay, guys. So this is now a theme for all of us lenders about being unforgettable, right? Because if you are, you will be irreplaceable. There's enough disruption going on right now. There's enough negativity and news. This is what it's all about. I need to be unforgettable, right? This market is the market, bitching about it. And that's something I learned. I was just at a big conference in Miami that Ryan Serhant put on. It was Sell It Miami, his mastermind. I talked to 100+ agents. I just wanted to pick their brains. And the few things that I found that they all had in common, one of them was they never bitch about the market, ever. The market is the market. Longing for better rates or more inventory or less negativity, or I just wish we could have those COVID days. You got to stop whenever you do that and ask yourself, what am I actually saying? That I can only do well when it's sunny outside? That I can only sell in good pastures? Then that means I'm not that great, because the newsflash, guys, is, and I use this expression when talking with Don and Gino about this. We had a great conversation over email. You don't want to be a one-hit COVID wonder, because the newsflash is that you were not the secret sauce. None of us were to those good COVID years. None of us.
Love that.
The market was the secret sauce. We merely facilitated transactions, right? It didn't matter. You didn't have to be good at what you do, as evidenced by a lot of the people that are no longer in the industry. They weren't good at what they did, and they made a shit ton of money during that time. Now it comes down to being good at your craft. Now it comes down to, what do I actually bring to this place? And I want everyone as lenders to now, for the rest of the year, this Q4 just started. You might be like, this year sucked. 2023 was rough. No, that's not the right mindset. It is, what am I going to do to finish out this year? Law of primacy. How something begins, how something ends. The middle is forgotten. The year started off weird. We know that. Rates were we were trying to figure out what was going to go on. We thought maybe we'd get more rates later in the year. It didn't happen. It will happen. We know it'll get there, right? There's a lot of curveballs being thrown at us. The middle of the year is where things got dicey. Now we're in Q4. This is how it ends. You get to decide. Right. And I'm not saying naively for a lender that's out there, and look, everyone's down, guys. No one is claiming they're having a banner year, but our attitude is the only thing we can control. We can't ultimately control how many transactions people do with us. You are no longer waking up every day thinking, where am I going to get a loan from, or that I'm in the mortgage business. You are in the problem solving business. If you wake up every day addressing, as Don said, what can I serve? Who can I give to? Right? That heart and mindset is why this guy's had one of the longest careers of any mortgage professional that's around today. It's because he's selfless like that. Gino embodies it too. That's why they're a team. I follow and learn from guys like this. This is what we're in. You are in the problem solving business because you can control that. If you say, I want to control or I want to address 10 problems today for 10 people, you can do it. You have 100% control over you finishing that day saying, I accomplished everything I wanted to do today. I can't say the same about saying, I'm going to go get 3 deals today, because we can't control that. We control a lot of it, but there's that 5% that just we have no control over because somebody's got a cousin who's their mortgage guy, or my dad wants me to go with my guy, his guy, even though you've done all this work for me. I'm sorry. I appreciate all your help. That happens. It will continue to happen. We can't control it, but you can control the problems you solve. And if you're doing that and you're fixated on that, everything will change in your business. I promise you. That's the exact key. Now, I'm very much passionate. And again, this is where I said the chip on the shoulder comes in. I want you guys to throw in the chat if this resonates with you. If you get phone calls or you feel you get thought of as like this, right? Hey, I was given your number to call and check on rates. That's the first thing they say. Not, hey, Gino, you've been in this industry a long time, man. Like I should be trusting you. Like I need to work with a guy like you that's going to help me avoid some mistakes. You know what to watch for in this market. You know where all the pitfalls are. Like I need to work with an expert who understands money and understands markets. That's where we think people should be calling us because we know we're good at what we do. I know it. You know it. These guys know it. But these clients are not being set up properly because the real estate industry, if we're honest, doesn't view the lender as indispensable. They view us as vendors. They view us as rate sheet providers. That's why they call you. Hey, would you like to split my Zillow leads with me or come bring bagels and coffee to sponsor my open house? They just want money. I hate, like when I get a call like this, I'm like, literally, honestly, Joe, the realtor, just spit in my face. Seriously. Because that's the level of respect you're showing me right now. And I know that's kind of like crass, guys, but I'm serious now. It's the time to wake up and have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, not in a way that you're going to be vindictive. I mean, in finding your edge and being like, you know what? F that. I am way more valuable than the way they view me. It's up to me to change that perception now. I'm going to move the optics. I'm going to elevate and get better. What's your rate? Hey, what's your rate, man? How are your rates? I am way more than a rate. In fact, I don't even talk about rates. Like if I was here to only talk about rates, I wouldn't be in business because as we all know, there's always a lower rate out there. We can't make it about rates. We have to make it about the opportunity. There's plenty of confusion. There's plenty of hysteria and negativity going on out there, guys. If we, going back to what I told you on the previous slide, are committed to solving problems, getting up every day and addressing problems, the rate doesn't matter. We all know that. The product doesn't matter. It's the strategy. And then you become indispensable to not only your clients, but to your referral partners because you are so valuable, they can't tune you out. You bring so much to the table, they can't ignore you. And look, your competition, everyone who's not on this call, who's not a part of this community, they're not doing any of this stuff. They're waiting for rates to get lower. They're waiting for more inventory. That is a useless, haphazard strategy, which means you're nothing more than a transaction facilitator. If you're an advisor and you're like, you know what, I belong in this industry. I don't care what disruption's happening. I will outlast. I will persevere. Then this is the chip on the shoulder and the mentality you guys need to have. Is this resonating with everyone? Throw it in the chat and say F yes. Or I got you, or I'm with you, or that's what I'm going to do, or I'm already doing this, Arjun. You're late. I'm already beating you on this, Arjun. Whatever it is, I just want to know that you guys are with me on this, right? Because I want us all to stick together, right? Lenders have got to stick together. Let me tell you my story, guys, and maybe you will relate to this. Because the reason I have the chip on my shoulder, which came about 6 years ago when I almost quit the business. Now, mind you, I've been in the industry 22 years. So 6 years ago, I was a 16-year, if you want to call it a veteran, I don't know. I never consider myself a veteran of anything. You're always a student. So I was in my business 16 years, which for a lot of people would say, well, you're probably an expert status or someone that should be respected. I wasn't. Here, and you guys tell me if this resonates with you. This was my wheel of death. I would beg for business. Then I would try and get this, Then I would try and get this business to send me some kind of lead. Give me something. I'd beg for it. Get them out to coffee, whatever. Then I'd have to fight and secure the deal, all while dealing with systematic harassment from the agents, because they always harass you. And if there's any agents on here, I can poke fun of you. You guys know, whenever in doubt, call the lender and say, when are we getting docs? When are we getting docs? Do you know when we're getting docs? Don, we just went into contract yesterday. There's no docs for 3 weeks, man. Like, stop calling. Like, this is what agents do.
But I need my check. I need my check.
That's it. We get it. I get it. But no, you're not getting doxxed for a while. So stop calling me as if you
Or
need
my
something to do
favorite,
today.
like you talk to them at 8 o'clock at night, and then they call you at 8 o'clock in the morning and say, "So what's going on?" And you're like, "Nothing changed. You
Nothing,
slept.
man. Nothing,
All that
nothing.
happened is we all took a nap. Nothing else has changed."
How'd you sleep? Yeah, that's what you should be
Right.
asking me. How'd you sleep, right? Not forget. How'd you sleep? Was yours any good? Mine was shit, actually. I'm not a good sleeper. So look, that's the harassment we all deal with as lenders. Then we close, and now I'm exhausted as if I just got off a 10-mile treadmill ride, and I got to do it again. I got to go out and find the next guy. If this resonates with you, say, yes, I feel you on this, Arjun. I know it. Throw it in the chat and just be like, that's me or that was me, right? So I got stood up for a meeting on one day. This is the day I almost quit the business. I got canceled like an Uber driver. The guy didn't even say sorry. I got to the coffee meeting early and I said, hey, John, I'm here early. What can I order you? He goes, I'm not going to make it. That's it. I mean, there's nothing more disrespectful than not. I'm sorry. He could have lied to me. Something came up. I got a flat tire. My dog ate my homework. Like, at least try to bullshit me. He didn't even do that. He canceled on me. Then I get yelled at by 2 other realtors. Again, you realtors and yelling. You know, I don't know what it is with you guys. Those any of you that might be on the call. If they teach you that in real estate school on day 6 or something, call and yell at the lender. Like there's a whole art
There's a
to it or
chapter on
something.
it.
Yeah, right.
Chapter on it. How
There's
to
a whole-
abuse
there's a whole day
and
session.
use you. Actually, you know what? Some of them get trained that way, and unfortunately, you know that
They
some of
do.
the brokers and some of the
Savage.
big dogs go abuse and use your affiliates. That's what they're for.
No.
And that's bullshit.
No, we're not
They should
about
be your
that.
partners.
Totally. You're a peer. You're an equal. You're not a vendor or a solicitor, right? And that's what the whole theme of today's call is, guys. So we're doing all this. I'm getting yelled at. I got stood up. I call up my business coach. I'm like, look, man, I think I should quit. Like, I really think the universe is telling me I've had it. And like, I don't want to deal with this. I'm way more important, like valuable to my community and the people I served in this. And I don't want to deal with this kind of abuse. Honestly, it's just shit, man. Not after 16 years, maybe my first year or first 5 years, but not now. He says, look, man, I don't have the answer for you, but I know you're good at what you do. And you know you're good at what you do. And maybe your clients that you've worked with recently do. But who else does? Does anybody else know you're good at what you do? If I Google you right now, what am I going to find out? If I look you up digitally for a resume, either on social media or whatever, LinkedIn, what am I going to find on you? And I didn't have an answer. Other than my martial arts background, because I competed for Team USA and I coached Team USA.
It's
during
badass,
that
by
time.
the way.
What's that?
I said that's
thanks, Don.
badass, by the way. Anybody that
I
gets to
appreciate
that kind of level, dude, that's commitment and that's discipline and all
appreciate
the
it.
things that we need to do to be successful in anything we do. I know as a professional athlete how hard that is, and kudos to you, man. That's freaking awesome.
No, same to you, Don. You know it, man. And that's a testament to why you're at where you're at and why you keep doing what you're doing. It's a mentality, a mindset, the discipline, and the structure. But that's all anyone would find on me if I looked it up. So I said, you know what? He says, I don't know what you do, man. You got to change that. So then I scratched my head. I went to a Gary Vee event later that year with my brother Neil, and everything changed. And I said, I'm going all in on creating content. It's about being the most visible, well-known commodity in my market. And again, this quote, guys, becomes so valuable, they cannot tune you out. If you're like that, you will be the lender that always attracts business. You're never going to have to beg for it. If you're begging for it, the only reason you're having to beg is they don't know who you are. If they know who you are and how valuable you are, you'll always have business. You'll always have incoming. People will be reaching out. Hey, I want to talk to you about this. I want to discuss marketing with you. I want to get into this video stuff that you're doing. Can you teach me? Or, hey, you know what? My buyers need to work with you because I've been noticing all the content on financial literacy you put out, and I know they need to make better money decisions. And you're going to make me look good by simply working with you. Like, that's the kind of phone calls we want. Not, hey, are you available Sunday to come stand in at this open house? You can bring your rate sheets and your business cards, knowing damn well they're not going to refer anyone to you anyways. They just want someone to stand there and give up time that you could be spending with your family, or more importantly, working on this. You work on this craft. This is where you spend the time. Improve yourself, commit to it, get better, and become so valuable they cannot tune you guys out. I call it the whole. You guys remember the movie Hitch, the one with Will Smith, the hilarious one where he gave the guy the makeover. Sometimes we all feel like we need it, man. I'm getting that way. I haven't slept in months, so because I have a 3-month-old, I might need a makeover pretty soon. But I think it's now time, like I said, with the chip on the shoulder, that all of us have a makeover. So you might need to do this, and this might be what revitalizes you. This is what you focus on for Q4 right now. I'm going to do my mortgage hitch, right? Stay sharp, be a student of the game, get very proficient on economic, on housing data, marketing, and overall markets. A lender that is proficient, not an expert, proficient. Be good enough to hold a conversation and stand in the room with a degree of credibility. That's what proficient is. A lender that can do all three of these is now a real mortgage advisor. You are no longer a loan facilitator or a loan officer. In fact, we don't let anyone within our sales team use the expression LOs. We don't even say, we're trying to break that word because loan officer is not respected. Please, thank you guys. I knew you guys would. Without even talking about that.
Mortgage advisors.
Yes, a mortgage advisor is indispensable, like your financial advisor, your legal advisor, your trusted advisor. The word advisor has much more of a concrete connotation to it, an association, than officer, right? It's just not there. So become a mortgage advisor, get proficient, get into better rooms. You're part of this community, which already tells me you're in the right rooms, guys. You're going to Don and Gino's events. I'll share with you guys what we're doing, which Don and Gino are a big part of. They're coming for the whole experience next month, which is going to be phenomenal. Like, get in the right rooms, because every time our careers have made a hard right turn, I know these gentlemen will say it. In the 22 years, every time it's turned, it's not because the market got better. It's because I got better. It's because we got better. And that only happens when you're in the right room, having the right conversations, shaking the right hands, rubbing elbows with the right people. If you're surrounded in your office place or your community or your online chats for the work that you're part of around negative people, man, this market sucks. What? Get away from it. Break those people. Say, I can't talk to you, man, the rest of Q4. I only want to be around winners, because that is infectious. I need to be in these communities. I need to lean into my momentum builder group. I need to lean into the events I go to, the masterminds I'm part of. Lean in hard for these 3 months. Focus on your craft. I promise you'll be in a completely different place when things do shift, which we all know they inevitably will. And develop some situational awareness, guys. I think this is a big theme of the event we're doing on November 3rd. Understanding the psychology of sales and becoming better listeners and asking our audience what they want, and really listening to the needs of our clients rather than trying to jam information down because we think we know everything and we think we know what they want to hear, is really key. But I'll tell you the people that actually value it the most, because we all know that these people are not any good at situational awareness, is real estate agents, right? Real estate agents have zero situational awareness. They actually throw gas on the fire most of the time. And again, if there's agents on here, I'm just joking with you. Because, we're not going to close on Friday. We're going to lose the deposit. There's going to be the lawyers are going to know, what are you going to do? I just called the client and told, why the fuck did you call the client and tell them that? Why would you create that kind of panic? Where is the situational awareness, right? Aren't we on the same team? Like, that's the kind of stuff we do. I think you as a lender, as a therapist, as a mortgage advisor, if you have situational awareness, you're proficient in markets, you're around the right people, there'll be a sense of calm that you'll bring to every interaction, every dynamic, every transaction. And that in and of itself brings immense value. You can't quantify it, but having somebody like, we all know that, like the calmest man in the room wins. The guy who's really keeping a level head, or woman, and seeing through to the end of a transaction, because we all know these things inevitably get bumpy. They get tricky, especially as these credit markets get tighter and rates get higher. Like, it's going to be bumpy. So having good situational awareness is absolutely key. Here's something I want every lender to do. This is an exercise. You guys do this after the call. Just jot this down or take a screenshot of this. I need you to start doing the deep diving as you do this makeover of yourself in terms of who are you and what is your brand. Now, your brand is your reputation, simply put. That's the simplest definition. And the reputation is the sum of all the energy and all the efforts and everything you put out into the universe. Everything you put out, that's your reputation. But your brand, guys, shows up to meetings before you do. Your brand is what people talk about when you leave the room or when you're not in it. It's important. So what I want you to do is, as a lender, I want you to ask your 5 biggest referral partners, whether they are agents or attorneys, wealth advisors, whoever they might be. And if you're an agent who's on this call, real estate agent, I want you to ask 5 of your best referral partners. Maybe it's some lenders that you work with to refer, or ask 5 previous clients, the 5 most recent clients, and say, hey, when you worked with me, how would you describe the experience in one word? One word, tell me what it was like to work with me. That is going to tell you guys where you stand with the market. Now, if you hear positive words, calm, steadfast, problem solver, even though that's 2 words, solution oriented, that's 2 words. You guys get where I'm going. If you're hearing that, you're on the right path and you know where you need to double down. Now, when I did this exercise, full disclosure, guys, I didn't hear such great words 6 years ago. I heard late, chaotic, circus. And it was a reflection of me and my business. It wasn't me personally. It was my back end, my team. I didn't realize the team, and we've all had bad team members, right, guys? Like Don and Gio, like it's just part of the industry. I had a team that was literally running like what I called a beautiful Michelin star restaurant in the front, but a fast food chain in the back. Chaos, things flying all over. Like, it was just chaos, absolute chaos. But I didn't know about it until I asked. So I had to address it. But I also made that mess part of my story. And I talked about it a lot on social media. Hey, guys, I've done some deep diving and looked in the mirror about my business. I found some things that I'm going to improve, and you better believe we're going to improve it, because everyone's drawn into positive evolving or improvement. Everyone loves a good comeback story. So that's something you can actually share if you do find that things aren't maybe so rosy in the eyes of the people you work with or refer to. If you do find that it's good, elaborate on it, get better, get even tighter with it, and really accentuate it. So I want everyone to do that, because it's important for us to know what we see in our business when we really, really look in the mirror. We can't just be, again, facilitators of transactions. Those people aren't looking and doing this. A mortgage advisor looks at his business and is very, very consumed, if not obsessed, with the consumer experience. And therefore, these kinds of questions matter. Is this making sense to everyone? Hands up, F yes, thank you guys, or whatever, just anything. Just let me know that we're on the right path here, and I'm striking a chord with some of you guys. But I want you to do that deep dive and figuring this all out. Think of yourself now, because this is my system and this is my mindset. I am a media company first, and then I'm a mortgage advisor, which means I want to push out programming on all these channels, right? That's what I use all the social media platforms for. Gino asked me in the beginning, like, how was that evolution? I was initially just only on Instagram when I got started 6 years ago, Instagram and Facebook, because they are one and the same. They're owned by the same company, right? Then I started evolving a little bit more on other platforms. I'm not someone that's going to tell you that there's one platform better than the other. I think as lenders, you got to find which one is yours. Some lenders have immense success with TikTok. Others love doing long form content on YouTube. Some make an absolute killing and destroy it on LinkedIn, because they like to operate in that high level room. Networking in a suit and tie is what I call it, right? Digital networking with a suit and tie, or social media with a suit and tie. Some people like Instagram and Facebook. You find yours, try them all. For me personally, Instagram has been where I've gotten so much of my business. I'd say 70 to 80% of my leads, referrals, and connections and direct business inquiries come straight from Instagram now, not from necessarily referral sources. They're referral sources, but through the social media channel. So I talk about Instagram a lot, but it doesn't mean that I think it's the best. It just works the best for me. You can find what's good for you. Another thing, all lenders need to diversify and mix up. And again, it might sound like I'm just like joking around with realtors, but realtors, I intentionally do not want to be my highest referral source. I have them at number 3. This is in order. My referral sources, number 1 are wealth advisors and attorneys. Number 2 is my database. And number 3 are realtors. Because over the years and all the, getting my shins kicked in deals, I have found the transactions that go the smoothest, the best handoffs, the highest degree of credibility, and the elevated place from which the conversations start always come by way of referrals with wealth advisors and attorneys, not real estate agents. That's not to say they can't happen. I just don't have anything really slip through the cracks. I never get shocked when a wealth advisor refers someone to me, because someone trusts their wealth advisor so much that if Gino is told by his wealth advisor, you call Arjun and he's going to sort this out for you so you guys can free up that money to start funding that 529 plan for the kids, Gino's like, done. I don't have time to shop around. I trust my wealth advisor with my life, sometimes more than my own spouse, let's be honest. And he's going to call Arjun and make this happen. And I'm not going to have to get into what's your rate or why should I work with you, right? How refreshing would that be, guys, to start getting calls and saying, my wealth advisor told me to call you and he says that you're the best and that I need to get this done. What do I need to do to get started? You're like, what? I mean, you might even stop for a second. Like, what? I don't have to pitch you. I don't have to tell you how great I am. I don't have to talk to you about the company. I don't have to sell myself. Let's go. That's what we want.
I want to jump in and chime in on that, because that's
brother.
Really, really good point that we all need to really strongly think about. And we've already talked about how realtors are bad at referring us. They just say, here, call my guy. Here's 3 cars. They're just not good at it. And so when you start thinking of a referral, what is a referral? A referral is the transfer of trust.
Yes.
So what level of trust does that individual that's referring you have with the client? So if it's someone that they met from a Zillow lead and they're referring them to you, there's no trust. That's why it's so difficult to convert a Zillow lead. If you're getting someone from a wealth advisor, the level of trust is astronomical. And that's why those deals are easier. So I love that you touched on this, because you have to think about am I the trusted authority in my market, and who knows that I am?
Yep. Couldn't have said it better. The even sillier version of that I use is, guys, this is like starting on the third date. First dates are awkward. It's artificial conversation. You're feeling each other out. You're like, you're trying to put your best foot forward. You're selling yourself. Let's be honest. It's like a first call with a client. How much of being your real authentic self are you on a third date? Like, pretentiousness is gone. Guards are down. It's easy. It's free flowing. There's credibility. There's a little bit of connection, probably a little bit of trust already established. And boom, now we're having a real conversation. So I call it, just get to the third date. And your third date interactions are going to happen with wealth advisors and attorneys. Of course, your database, that's like, forget about dating. That's like spouses or ex-spouses, however you want to look at it. Those are people that you're already connected to use the dating analogy or the human analogy. But yes, Gino said it, illustrated it beautifully. There's no trust or credibility with a Zillow lead. The Zillow client already distrusts the agent that's calling them that their information has been sold to. They're going to distrust you 10x more when you are referred to them by a stranger to another stranger. So it's like, this is like a compounding negative effect. That's why I never will spend $1 on it. I tell every mortgage person, do not throw a penny of your money, your hard-earned money or saved money at a Zillow lead ever. Just pass on it.
Hey, Arjun,
please pass on it.
Do you mind sharing, evidently, your number one referral source? And we're all looking for ways to build our database, build our opportunities, because there's only so much inventory, only so many homes, especially depending on what market you're in. Some are tougher than others. Some of our team are on this call, and they're challenged because of lack of inventory and affordability. But one of the areas that I know we should go to, and Gino and I, some of our best success is with your top one. And how do you go after, and is that a large part of your business? And how do you go after the wealth advisors and attorneys? Because that's a different market that we all should, as advisors, be going after, because that's a different lead. When our CPA refers us, they don't even question it. They're like, my CPA or my financial planner said I need to call you.
Yep. No, and it's great. Like I said, that's the referral we want, because now we're like, okay, now I'm being respected, right? So the first thing, guys, with this particular type of referral source is recognizing and understanding that we overcomplicate this problem of the marketplace. We forget we sell money. Money is never, ever going out of style, guys. It goes through ebbs and flows, but people will always need it. So if you recognize that what you have, we're not selling encyclopedias or Tupperware. Now, I really dated myself in saying that, because half of you don't even know what those two things are. But Don and Gino and I do, because we grew up with that stuff. We're not selling stuff that's like, a luxury item that maybe a few people need. It's money related to shelter, and it's never, never going out of style. Knowing that you sell money, you already have an instant position of being able to solve a unique problem for wealth advisors and attorneys, which is their clients need money freed up, particularly wealth advisors. What is every wealth advisor doing right now? The market's tight. They're calling and doing their review calls for clients. They don't have anything to sell them. I mean, like, if you talk to some, it's a frustrating market for them. It's not like they're dealing with a bunch of people that are flush with cash or feeling optimistic about things, about where they're going to allocate, because that's how a wealth advisor makes money. They're just calling and saying, hey, Don, everything looks really good. Portfolio's hanging in. I know it's been a bumpy ride. Q4 will ride out this way. Here's what we expect in Q1 next year. I'll touch base with you next year. Done. I'm doing those. I'm not making any money doing that. I'm just kind of solidifying my base. You can solve a problem for them, which is they need freed up dollars. They need money freed up. What does every homeowner have? Equity. You have strategic tools to address that. Now you can speak the same language of the wealth advisor. And I think if you guys pursue wealth advisors and say, look, I want to be in strategic alignment with you as a partner because I am an equity specialist. Use that word or that expression. Excuse me, guys. I'm an equity specialist. I know you are looking for ways, because you want to do right by your client, to help them ride out this turmoil also. And they need some liquidity, maybe some small degree of equity in their home, maybe by consolidating debt so that we can free up money. Our brother and mutual friend, Barry Habib, talks about this all the time. We're constantly talking about the debt consolidation tool. Like, it is huge. We're finding people taking them into the 7s for a cash out refinance and leaving a 4 is saving them money when we effectively figure out the blended rate. Like, this is smart money stuff. And a wealth advisor, like, Boom. Because wealth advisors think sometimes too linear because they're around negative people too, guys. So it's up to you to be the light and say, look, just because rates are high doesn't mean there's opportunity out there. I can consolidate clients' debt. I can access equity. We have access to home equity products that can be closed in 14 days if we need to free up money for other investments or a tax situation or whatever it is. So let's talk, man. I can solve your clients' problems. I want to help. I'm equipped. You want to serve your clients? Let's go. They're going to be on board. There's not one wealth advisor like, you know what, man, I'll think about it. Let me get back. No, they'll be like, get into my office right now and let me go over my database with you. Or let me talk to you about these client situations. Now they've got something different. You just equipped them in their business to be able to make all their client review calls with something totally different and more empowering. Hey, I've got some ideas, but I want to look at how much debt you guys are carrying. I want to ask you guys some questions that help them out. And then you're going to start to see endless referral opportunities or conversations that will lead to opportunities, guys, because that's what it's about. Remember, I said we're in the problem-solving business. Attorneys, pretty much the same thing. To wrap up Don's question here. Wealth advisors, I think you guys got the idea. Attorneys is the same thing. If you're dealing with divorce attorneys, because in divorces, there's generally a home that's being lost, gained, split up, whatever. You have a role. You're an equity specialist. You can solve a problem here that this situation or dynamic is going to need to have addressed, right? Business attorneys, corporate attorneys are always good. HR attorneys are people that work in HR. Like any attorney, if you just sit down and chat with them and learn about their business and see what you can provide to them in the way of solving problems or maybe even referrals, maybe people from your database that need their services or you want to open it up, they will be able to synergistically refer back to you. So I hope that answers your question, Don. And for the guys out there, that's how I attack wealth advisors, is from a position of strength as an equity specialist, because that's my game. Their game is they need money freed up, and now we can both win.
So the question now was, how do you find your wealth advisors?
LinkedIn and through networking channels. Is everyone on this call, are you guys familiar with BNI? Are you familiar with Provisors? So I always say that BNI is like the JV team. Provisors, which is national. Look them up online and put in an inquiry to find they have multiple chapters in every major US city, and they're starting in mid-markets as well. That has been the greatest network of wealth advisors and attorneys for me, is Provisors. BNI for a long, long time, but then the BNI group I was a part of fell apart during the pandemic. The Provisors group went to a completely virtual model and they survived, and you have access to the entire national registry of members. If you're traveling to another city, if you're part of it, you can actually guest at an event. You can look up on their website and see which groups in Chicago are meeting there. Oh, there's a breakfast meeting at 7 with these guys. Let me put in a request to be a guest. I'm coming from San Francisco. It's such a collaborative, great community. Now I have an instant breakfast meeting with 30 professionals while I'm on my trip. I can make use of it because I got to eat breakfast. Let's be honest. May as well get some networking done at the same time. And you will meet a very, very high level, highly authoritative group of wealth advisors and attorneys, because that group, Provisors, is very heavy on wealth and financial advisors, capital markets people, and attorneys. They're very focused on that. So you'll meet a great network of them. Gino, I think you were going to ask something, brother.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and guess what happens? Because you're part of the same network that they are. When you show up, you're a trusted authority, because there's an implied amount of trust that if you're in the same group that they are, you must be of the same caliber as them. So again, that transfer of trust continues.
It's huge. It's everything, guys. Now, for those that think that there's not an opportunity here, let me tell you, and this has already happened. I think you guys can tell me in the chat. Does anyone in the chat know of an agent, lender, coworker, colleague that's left the industry this year? I mean, 600,000 people will exit this industry over the course of this year. This was a stat at the beginning of the year. Most of this has already happened. The rest of it will flush out here in Q4. So while that's like, man, that's kind of negative news, Arjun. No, this is an opportunity, because competition shrinks, market share increases, right? Your leadership here talks to you guys about that stuff. And here's the huge opportunity for those of you that are like, well, you know what? You said you got started in social 6 years ago. I feel like it might be too late. No, I think the opportunity is as big, if not bigger now, because you can learn from everyone's mistakes, especially mine, which I'm an open book with, and I will share with you anytime. I made terrible mistakes the first 2 years I was doing this stuff. It didn't get me anything. I was getting more doors slammed in my face, but I knew it would work. I just knew I had to keep tweaking things. So I will share that with you guys anytime. You can always send me a DM, or we can do a follow-up one of these on do's and don'ts for everyone if it'll help the community out. But great. Your opportunity is big because of this number. 90% of our industry, real estate and mortgage, puts out content that has zero value to the end user or consumer. Zero. It talks about what I just listed, what I just sold, or something to do with mortgage markets that's way too complicated. It has no value to the consumer. If you just create things, again, get into that problem-solving mode, creating trust, like Gino said, solve problems, make it clear, translate, communicate, be optimistic, be the light. If you just do that, you are part of the 10% and you instantly separate from the industry in just one post, one piece of content. Now you can build on it. I'm like, you know what? I just sped up and left 90% of my competition in the dust because I'm actually being valuable instead of selling stuff. I'm not selling myself. I'm actually creating opportunity. I'm translating. I'm clarifying. I'm demystifying, because we all know there's enough negativity out there. Guys, you exert your relevance or you'll get pushed to a place of irrelevance. I really mean that. It's a quote that I say all the time. I have it up in the office. You find a way to make sure you are relevant. It is up to you to make sure that you are seen, you are visible, you have that chip on your shoulder now and say, now is my time. Q4, I'm going to plant these seeds. I'm going to do this work. I'm going to lay the ground game so that whatever shift happens, whether rates go up, rates come down, rates go sideways, we settle in, whatever it is, I am ready. I'm going to be at a sprint, because your competition and the people that are sitting on their hands waiting, it'll be too late for them. You can't sprint when you're sitting on your hands like, oh, it's sunny outside. Shit, let's go. Let's get dressed. Let's go. No, you'll already be out, lapping them, way ahead of them, having created market share, having created and established trust. And that's what it's all about, guys. So I implore everyone to do this. I implore everyone to wake up, do that hard look in the mirror, ask those questions of your past referral sources, your clients. What does my business mean in one word? What do you think of when you think of me? What was the experience like? Address it and either double down on it or fix it and go hard at it. I promise you, the next time we do one of these calls, I guarantee you your business will be in a totally different place. So will your mind.
Wish you had some passion there, Arjun. That'd be really nice for you to bring a little passion, a little,
Sorry, guys, if I'm a little flat. I'm only on 3 hours sleep, which might be why I'm a little...
I was just thinking about my personal brand, and every time I bump into somebody, it's about food. They're like, hey, I've seen your food.
Oh, no, soccer, brother. It's about soccer.
Hey, you know what, Arjun?
Soccer, food, and cars, but that's okay. That attracts the people that like what I do.
That's you. That's personal to you, yes, because I want to know Gino. I don't want to work with Gino because he's a mortgage guy. I want to work with him because he's infatuated with Lionel Messi. He loves South American culture, and he's a passionate guy. That's what makes me want to work with him. Sorry, Don, what were you going to ask, brother?
No. I don't even remember now.
Okay. I thought somebody had a question.
You were teasing.
No.
Don's a handsome guy. Like, I just want to work with a guy because he's a handsome dude, and I love being around him, and he's always smiling. He's always smiling. He's hugging everyone. He's just one of those warm people that just makes you feel better just by being around him.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. Actually, Arjun, you walk the walk, and you're just a beautiful man because you make people feel good. And I'm going to share this with all of you right now because it's more important than ever. We have a conversion challenge right now because we have, even if we get leads, it's hard to make them sticky, whether it's the agent, whether it's a client, whatever it is. So you got to do a much better job. We're working really hard between Renee and all the rock stars that you and I know and Gino. We're working with everybody, trying to gather up as much. And that's why we have these calls. And thank you, Arjun. I got a page of notes because of your passion and thought process and how you're doing things. But what's really cool is you walk the walk. So a perfect example is we really need to make connections. And if you make a connection, you don't know where that's going to lead. And you did an amazing job. We've actually been bragging about you because you're a friend of ours and we respect you. And you had this big event coming up, which we'll talk about. And you wanted us to show up at the event and be part of it because, you definitely wanted us to be part of your event because you're part of our events and it's a collaboration and we respect each other and we add value. But you sent us an 8-minute video about how much you want us to be part of your event. And that was heartfelt. I mean, I showed it to my wife. I mean, I'm like, look at this guy. He cares. And there was no way we were going to say no, by the way, after watching your video. Gino says, you got to see this because he watched it first. And I'm like, all right. And I'm like, holy cow, what an amazing way to make a connection and show how much you care. And that's something I know Gino and I will remember. And just so you know, we're doing the same to all our Momentum Builder community, like our individuals, whether it's speakers or whether it's potential sponsors, partners. They're not just vendors to us. They're our partners because they're giving back to the industry. They're getting personal videos from us because of what you did And there's nothing like making that connection. And we already sent some already. And the responses are not, hey, thanks for the opportunity to sponsor. It's thank you for the video and thank you for wanting me to be part of Momentum Builder. And I'm really excited about that. You feel that we're, an integral part of it and that we have value to give to your community. And it was a different,
just be genuine, man. That's it, right? You guys are so genuine when everyone sees you. You just got to be genuine. Be a real human being. Don't be a robot. That's what, like, those are like, oh, AI is going to take our job. AI will never replace that human connection that Don just elaborated on. It cannot. Yeah, yes, it can actually clone you, some robotic version of you. But people, if you look closely, they're like, that's not Gino. He's not, I mean, there's way too much hair. There's not
enough hands floating around.
That's what they'll say, right? It doesn't, nothing replaces it. So just be a real human being, because guys, look, we all know this, but we sometimes take for granted because we're in the trenches. Those clients out there, this consumer population is inundated with so much fear and negativity and terrible hysteria about everything, that the sky is falling. Like, people need warmth and compassion and empathy, not transactional rhetoric. So any chance you get to be personal, and look, man, and I appreciate, Don, you saying that. I don't mind I will always put the effort in that way to be a sincere person, because it's out of respect to you and to Gino. You guys, the only reason you guys don't know this, you guys, let me tell you this, because this leads into the event and I want to talk about it with everyone. And I want to explain why a loan officer, a lender, see, I almost did it again. A mortgage advisor would need to be at a real estate mastermind, right? And the whole reason this event is actually happening, guys, is because I met Ryan at Momentum Builder. Don and Gino had Ryan speak 2 years ago at their event, which was phenomenal. Those of you who were there in Vegas, that was every event of theirs is great. That was my first Momentum Builder event, so I'll always remember it. But that's where we all got to meet, and that's where we found all this connection and commonality that we had because of the TV show and so many other things and mutual colleagues. And Ryan was speaking, and I spoke earlier at Renee's event the day before. So I knew where the green room was. I knew where the speakers go. And I just said, you know what, man, I've always wanted to meet Ryan. I was obsessed with his vlogs at the time. I said, let me just go back there, man. Maybe no one's going to tackle me or stop me. I'm wearing a nice suit today. Let me go back and sneak in there and see if I can just meet Ryan.
No one's going to take you out anyways. You're freaking a champion.
I'm 5'8", Don, so I'm unassuming, right? People think they can take me, right? I'm just a skinny Indian guy. We can take him.
It's like picking on Manny Pacquiao at a bar. Mistake.
Exactly. Why would you do that? So I walked back there. I met Ryan, one of the most genuine, I mean, let's be honest. He is a celebrity, right? But he's also the biggest real estate brand in the world. But it was because of this event, the caliber of people that Don and Gino had there. I met him. We started a friendship. We stayed in contact. A year later, I had him out to San Francisco, which was last year, to do a very special keynote. This year, I wanted to expand on it and build something even more special because, look, guys, we just talked about community. We talked about being in the right room with people. I wanted to create that because people did it for me. When the market crashed in 2007, Don and Gino have done it for countless other people. Somebody did it for them. And I want to create that same experience for this market now. I know there's a lot of people on this call like, dude, don't try and explain to me about how hard 08 was, whatever. Like, I don't care about 08. This is my problem right now. I 100% respect that. It's all relative. Whatever market shift you're going in, if it's the first market shift, it's heavy. It's hard. It's challenging. It doesn't matter. So you don't want to hear perspective from other people. But I do know this, that every time my career has made a hard right turn towards success or prosperity or improvement, it's been because of what I said earlier in the call. It's not because the market got better. It's because I got better. The one conversation, the one handshake, the one interaction, me sneaking backstage at Don and Gino's event. I just went in there and shook the guy's hand. And that's why this whole event is happening, because of the magic that these guys created, that opportunity. That's what led me to this. And so I wanted to create something like that, which is the launch of my own mastermind called the LFG Energy Society. We're powering it in partnership with Sirhan and his entire team. Imagine going to 6 or 7 conferences about everything we need to know about right now in this market as lenders and agents, about inventory, rates, overall markets and economics, personal branding, video, actual voice online, storytelling, AI, and how I'm going to embrace it, or what do I do with it? All of these things. You can go to 6, 7 of those conferences and spend tens of thousands of dollars, or you can come to one powerful mastermind where we're going to get it all with a lot of socializing, high-level networking, And that's what I'm calling it, the Society Day. So it's on November 2nd and 3rd. The VIP dinner is on the 2nd. I'm calling it and branding it as the single biggest day of real estate content and masterminding to ever hit the San Francisco Bay Area. I fully intend to back that up. I even put out a guarantee to everyone that if you felt at this wrap party, which is going to be great, on the rooftop of a beautiful brand new restaurant here in the city, if you feel at that point, go ahead, guys. What did you say, Don?
No, I can't.
No. If you guys feel at that point, after hearing all the speakers and all the networking and mixing and coming to see Don, Gino, myself, everyone, that you didn't get your money's worth, or you didn't learn one thing that's going to help you move the needle in your business or land a deal, one new deal next year, which I promise you it will, you walk right up to me. We don't even have a conversation. Just say, Arjun, here's my Venmo. I'll scan it and I'll Venmo you back your ticket right there. The entire thing. You'll have gotten the entire day free. That's how much and how strongly I feel about this. Now, I joked with you guys, why would a lender want to go to a real estate mastermind? Imagine being a single guy and you're going to Momentum Builder in Vegas, because Momentum Builder's all in Vegas. I'm a single dude. And right as I'm about to check in, I look across the hallway over there. I'm like, there's a single women's conference going on. You know what, Don, Gino, I love you guys, but I'm going over here because I want to know exactly what the target audience is that I need to be connecting with actually wants. What do they need to hear? I want the cheat code of how to be to my potential partner in life, how I line up. That's where I'm going. This is your opportunity as a lender. And people are like, why would you want lenders at your event? It's your event with realtors. I want the whole industry to do all. I want us all to win. There was 40 lenders at my event with Ryan last year. I welcomed and hugged every one of them. I said, use this stuff. Do it. Let's team up. Don and Gino are two of my closest friends in the industry. Use this stuff. Let's team up. Let's get better. So for lenders, being in an event like this, I think gives you the cheat code. You can literally go back to your markets and put on masterminds, lunch and learns, webinars. You will have all of the ahead of market information that every real estate professional is starving for, and you'll be able to provide it to them. And that is where I say the guarantee. That's going to help you land more connections, more conversations, more business. So here's what we did. Don and Gino are VIP guests at our event. They're huge supporters. They have helped actually share this because they believe in the event. They know Ryan, of course, so they're going to get a chance to reconnect with him, which will be really powerful. And part of the experience, they're going to be there for the whole enchilada on the 2nd and 3rd. The event is high ticket, guys. It's not a cheap event, and nor should it be. Not something of this quality. I'm also sensitive to the times that we're in, especially as lenders. I get it. If you're going to make one last investment in yourself for this year, guys, like, and just figure out, like I said, I could go to 6 different conferences or whatever. Like, I wish there was one place I could go where I could get it all, enough of it all to be dangerous, to really get my footing and take off and show up with Momentum Builder next year and really run through 2024, then this event is it. So what we're doing is, because of the involvement that Don and Gino have, I'm able to subsidize the ticket cost for a brief period of time, just for a window here. Because right now, the current price that you guys would have access to, and you already do, is what we call the announcement price, which was a month ago. And that's at roughly, for the main ticket, that's just under $2,000. That's $1,997. However, this code, you guys see it. If you scan the QR code, it takes you to the site. Write down that code because it's good until midnight tomorrow night. Again, it's just for this group. It will take another $1,000 off that. So the entire ticket price for this is $997.
Wow.
I can't write it down any more than that, guys. This event, Don and Gino know this, so I know they respect it. Events cost a lot of money. You lose a lot of money on them. But it's not about you. It's about the industry. And I just feel like an event like this is so well timed from some of the best thought leaders. And look, Ryan is the single biggest real estate brand in the world. What they're doing is incredible. I was just at his mastermind where I was fortunate to speak. I got asked to speak at it in Miami last week. It was incredible, the energy. In fact, many of the agents there are flying to this event. They want more. Like, that's the mentality they have. I want to learn more. I want to grow more. I want to be around more winners. I don't mean to beat this to a pulp, guys, but I just want to share with you the opportunity because I want us all to have that chance. So you can DM me if you have any questions. I have this window where I can discount it this much. I can't do it any longer than that, guys. It's just till tomorrow night at midnight. After that, you still get the discount that's nearly $2,000 off the regular price. But if you can save another $1,000 and use that towards flying up here, getting here, get to San Francisco, get in the room, be a part of this. And I would welcome you here, and you'll get a hug from me. You'll get to see Don and Gino, and we're going to grow. We're going to get better, and this thing's going to be transformative. So that's it, guys. I appreciate you letting me share this.
I got to tell you this. If you look at the cycle of where we've come through your slides, it goes right back to the beginning. Once you leave the conference, you'll be competent, right? You'll be proficient. So you'll have enough market information shared by Ryan Serhant, so it has credibility, that you can go back into your marketplace as the expert and share this information. A good friend of ours, Daniel Arias, did this every single year. He goes to the Inman conference, and then he comes back and he goes on tour, real estate office to real estate office to real estate office, giving them the debrief from the Inman conference. So this is, I see this as the same thing. You go to this conference and it's going to give you a tremendous amount of content so that you can come back and say, hey, per Ryan Serhant and his peers, the people in the room, this is what's happening in the real estate market, and here's what we can share. So I love that idea.
No, it's sick what you're putting together, because this is what Gino and I and our team are pushing out, Arjun. You're right on task with what we're doing, is adding value to our agents. They don't care about anything but how can I get more business, because they don't have enough business right now. So it's an opportunity. 2 years ago, you call the real estate agent, they wouldn't even take your call because their listing sold before it even hit, MLS.
Totally.
Now they're like, please help me figure out how to get more market share, how to capture more business, how to make the business more sticky, and so forth. And what you're putting together is actually more of a gift, I think, for us than the real estate community, because now we're going to have the tools to help them be a true partner. And this is a secret attack. I mean, you're going to have so much value added pieces that others won't have, that they won't be able to compete with you. And I appreciate you putting this together, because this is no small task. And that's why we're not going to miss it.
Yeah. You guys know these things. I mean, it's like bigger than, I mean, I'm Indian. I had an Indian wedding, and Indian weddings are pretty elaborate productions, guys. If you've been to one, this makes that wedding look like a cakewalk. I was telling my wife the other day, when she got insulted by, because she's the one who did the planning, not me. So she's like, "How dare you say that? That thing was hard." I go, "No, this is insanity right now, right?" What
ours takes a whole year. I mean, we literally, as soon as Momentum Builder's done, we start on it.
You guys don't get any rest. You literally start the day after that. The event ends on Saturday or Sunday, and then you guys are like, "We're back to work on Monday. What do we do next?"
Sonia quits every year. Who's on this call? She quits every year. She's like, "That's it. I'm done. That was too much work. I quit."
That's what we're trying to do this year. Is we're trying to see if we can get Sonia not to quit. Or you know what? If she doesn't quit, maybe we're not trying hard enough.
I figure when you guys get that recipe, let me know so I can give the same email to my wife so she doesn't quit after this thing. But
right.
Guys, listen, take a screenshot of this guy, scan the QR code, it'll take you to the website, but write down the code. The code is good through tomorrow night. It's off at midnight. If you've got questions, send me a DM. I'm an open book. I always love talking with members of this community, any community. That's how Don and Gino and I connect too. Like, send me a DM on Instagram, since that's where I'm at, and we can chat about it. There are group rates as well, guys. We can do, if you want to reach out to me. If you're buying, like if you're coming from a team and you're buying as a pair or in 3s or 4s, we can discount the tickets potentially even a little bit more. It's a heavy discount already, but we can work something out for clusters. So just reach out to me and we'll make it happen. I want to get you there.
Somebody on this call that really wants to go deep and bond with a few of their agents. I mean, I know it would be a big investment, but they could reach out to some agents and say, "Hey, I'm going to go see Ryan Serhant in San Francisco. I'd love for you to come with me." Right. And then with those, that's obviously for high dollar agents, but I'm thinking of Michael, because Michael has high dollar agents that would respect what Ryan Serhant has to say. Use this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maximize this opportunity. What Arjun's put together is an opportunity for you to have content and build more relationships.
Yeah.
So here's
reach out to you guys.
You absolutely killed it, Arjun. Great. Hopefully you guys took notes. What's good is this will be available on our app, which we'll share in a minute. But these are upcoming calls. If you don't know, Katrina and Nate, they're rock stars. They're part of Momentum Builder every year and help us every year. And they're bringing the man, the myth, the legend, Ethan Butte. I'm sure you know who he is, Arjun. He's the evangelist for Bomb Bomb, which I use literally daily, because this guy wrote the book on how to communicate and how to connect. And we've been talking about this on this call. Arjun, you're a master of it. And then, of course, we have another rock star in our industry, Todd Bookspan, who wrote the book, Win by Noon. He has strategies that are going to totally change how you do business. Without a doubt, we need it more than ever. And then, of course, what's our next slide there, Sonia, as we wrap this up, because I know we respect your time. We got Momentum Builder coming up. Oh, look at our new logo. Thank you, Sonia. So what were you talking about, this whole thing? You got to get your stuff together and reboot, basically. That's our theme for next year, Arjun. Thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Love it.
Yep, that's the event theme. And so every
Love it.
speaker needs to be of the mindset of that we're rebooting our business. We're hitting Control Alt Delete. We're starting over as if it was our first day in the mortgage industry. What are the best practices? How do I succeed?
So we have a discounted course always for those who sign up, but sign up now because the price will go up. Arjun knows the expense to put on a huge event like this. So make sure you use the DG 2024 code before, because it's a discount on the early bird pass that will start going up here in the next month. So make sure you get your passes. It will be game changing. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. The networking alone is going to be worth it, let alone having all these great speakers. Arjun will be part of it. We have a lot of our past speakers going to be part of it. We have more speakers coming up. It's going to be game changing. So we want those that are on this call to be there because you're part of our family. You're part of our community. And that's together, we're going to be the ones that get to the other side of this thing. And we want you all there. So hopefully you sign up right away and commit to change, because it's perfect timing, February, right before earnings season.
Perfect timing.
All right. Anything else
Awesome.
you want to add, Gino? Arjun?
No, I think we covered a lot of stuff. I think Arjun hit a bunch of things, hit people between the eyes. And look, you have to implement the things you learn. Arjun sent us an 8-minute video, and the first thing we did, we turned around and we started doing videos for everybody that we're trying to connect with. So use people that are doing great things and they're leaders in the industry, and just copy what they do. It's not that hard. Just do what they do.
And come to San Francisco with us.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That is I can't wait. I'm super pumped. And it's unique. It's going to be unique for all of us on this call. We've watched a lot of the same people over and over. It's going to be unique. Ryan Serhan's an amazing speaker. And of course, he's knocking it out of the park. And what better person to learn from? Plus, you can hang with Gino and Arjun and I, and Craig Davis is going now. And hopefully a bunch of you are going. So, yeah, Craig, I'm calling you out. You're going to meet us up there, buddy. You can drive. I don't even want to hear an excuse.
Seriously, he's like a stone's throw away.
Right?
He would almost drive home every night.
Yeah, you, Craig.
But we won't let him.
There, buddy. You better get your ticket. All right, everyone. Thank you for being part of our
Don and Gino.
weekly call. And get on the app and share this with your friends. Check out all the great stuff on the app, the tools, the coaching, everything else, and we're going to keep blowing this up, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.
Bye, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Arjun. You killed it, buddy. Love you, man.
Thanks, Don, Gino. Appreciate you guys both very much, man. That was a lot of fun.